Hey everyone, quick question. When's the last time you were genuinely bored? And I mean actually bored. Not scrolling through your phone, not half watching Netflix, but sitting there with absolutely nothing to do, feeling that restless, almost uncomfortable emptiness. If you can't remember, you're not alone. We've become so afraid of boredom that we've practically eliminated it from our lives. But here's the thing, that might be the biggest mistake we're making. Today, I'm going to show you how to transform boredom from your enemy into your secret weapon. By the end of this video, you'll understand why some of the history's most creative minds actively sought out boredom, and more importantly, you'll have a complete toolkit for channeling those dead moments into breakthrough thinking, personal growth, and creative genius. Let's start with a reality check. When did we become so terrified of our own thoughts that we'd rather stare at strangers on social media than sit alone with ourselves for 5 minutes? Recent studies show that the average person checks their phone 96 times per day. That's once every 10 minutes during waking hours. We have created what psychologists call continuous partial attention. We are always somewhat distracted, never fully present, and definitely never bored. But here's what we're missing: boredom isn't a problem to solve, it's a signal to listen to. When do your best ideas come to you? I bet it's not when you're frantically busy or consuming content. It's probably in the shower, on a walk, or during those few seconds before you fall asleep. That's not coincidence. That's your brain finally getting the space it needs to make connections. Neuroscience research shows that when we're bored, our brain doesn't shut down. It fires up what's called the default mode network. This is essentially your brain's screensaver, but instead of showing pretty pictures, it's making connections between different ideas, processing emotion, and solving problems in the background. Dr. Sandy Mann from the University of Central Lancashire conducted a fascinating experiment. She had people do boring tasks like copying phone numbers, then asked them to come up with creative uses for plastic cups. The bored group consistently outperformed the control group. Boredom literally makes you more creative. But we are so quick to escape boredom that we never give our brain cells this crucial processing time. We are like someone who never sleeps, wondering why they can't think straight. We need boredom like we need sleep. It's not optional, it's essential. So, what exactly is boredom? Most people think it's the absence of stimulation, but that's like saying hunger is the absence of food. Boredom is actually your brain's way of telling you something important. Boredom is curiosity without direction. It's creative energy looking for an outlet. It's your subconscious mind saying, hey, I'm ready to work on something meaningful, but I need you to stop feeding me distractions first. Now let's talk about why you should actually start seeking out boredom instead of avoiding it. The benefits go way beyond having better ideas. We already touched on this, but it goes deeper. When you're bored, your brain starts making what researchers call remote associations, connecting ideas that normally wouldn't be linked. This is exactly how breakthrough innovations happen. Netflix came from connecting movies with mail delivery. Uber connected taxis with smartphone technology. These aren't obvious connections, they are the kind your brain makes when it has space to wonder. Ever notice how solutions to complex problems often come to you when you're not actively thinking about them? That's because your unconscious mind is incredibly powerful at pattern recognition, but it needs quiet time to work. When you're constantly stimulated, you're essentially putting duct tape over your brain's mouth and wondering why it's not talking to you. Boredom forces you to confront yourself, your thoughts, your desires, your fears. This might sound uncomfortable, but it's essential for your personal growth. How can you make good decisions about your life if you don't know what you actually want versus what you should want? This might seem counterintuitive, but regular periods of boredom actually improve your ability to focus when you need to. It's like interval training for your attention span. When you can sit with nothing, you develop the mental muscle to stay with one thing. Some of history's greatest minds understood this instinctively. Einstein called it sacred solitude and would spend hours just thinking. Darwin took daily walks on what he called his thinking path. Steve Jobs was famous for his long walks when facing big decisions. They weren't being lazy, they were giving their minds the space to do their best work. Finally, you can use boredom to push yourself into uncomfortable but growth promoting territory. When you're bored, ask yourself, what am I avoiding? Often, boredom is a sign that we're staying too comfortable, not challenging ourselves enough. Use that restless energy to identify one small thing you could do to stretch yourself. Pick a skill you've always wanted to learn and spend 20 to 30 minutes just exploring it mentally, not committing to learning it, just thinking about it. What are you afraid of? Not the obvious stuff, but the subtle fears that might be holding you back. Fear of being judged, fear of success, fear of discovering you're not as smart, talented, capable as you think. Boredom is a safe space to examine these fears without the pressure of having to do anything about them immediately. Be patient with the process and don't expect immediate results. Most importantly, remember that in a world of infinite distractions, the ability to be alone with your thoughts isn't just a nice skill to have, it's a superpower. The people who learn to challenge their boredom productively will have a massive advantage in creativity, problem solving, and life satisfaction. Your most creative, authentic, and interesting self is probably hiding somewhere in your boredom, waiting for you to stop distracting yourself long enough to meet them. If this video helped you see boredom differently, hit that like button and subscribe for more content.